Okay. Hi guys, how y'all doing? Yes, I'm back with another one, another book review. And this book right here was pretty good. Yes. I got this one from the library, guys. And it's called My Favorite Terrible Thing. Now, and it's by Madeline Henry. Alright, so get this, guys. I read this book and I was just like, at the end, yes. Um, Let me tell you, the title had me going at first. I said to myself, "Well, what's her favorite terrible thing?" But she was actually it's a private detective. That's who it's about. Her name is Nina Travis, and there's a lot that she went through as a child. She watched her father murder her mother. Her father was in the underworld. Her mom was an alcoholic, but she worked every day and took care of Nina to her best ability. But her parents died when she was pretty young, and she just took care of herself after that. And she actually educated herself. She actually sat in a lot of seminars and classes from Harvard. She wasn't a student, but she went to their seminars because she had the ability to blend in. And that's how she educated herself. And she also worked in like a coffee shop not too far from the university where she had met a Claire Ross. Now, Claire Ross is this famous now today. She's this famous author. She wrote this incredible book that just everyone just loved. It was a love story about a man and a woman who met each other throughout time, fell in love, and in the future they met each other and um they finally was able to be together for the rest of their lives, and that was nice also. But that was what the book was about, and everybody loved this book, and so did Nina. Nina just loved Claire. She looked up to her, and Nina was a private investigator. And what happened was, it was she was in New Hampshire, and the New Hampshire people are very rich, and one of them had lost their Picasso. Someone had came and stole their Picasso from their house, and so they hired Nina to find it, and she did. She found the Picasso, and so that really took her career off because then she got a lot of recommendations. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Claire. Claire Ross, she's from a very wealthy family, and she went missing on her wedding day. And so her mother, her name was Miranda, she contacted um, Nina Travis, the private investigator, to find her daughter. The woman who found her, who lost her Picasso, recommended her to Miranda, and she said she's very good, and I'm sure she could find Claire. Claire actually disappeared, and she had a great fan base, and they were just trying to figure out what happened to Claire. And Nina was on a job, and she dug into her past and everything. Found out that she had been through some things when she was a child. She was locked in this wooden chest overnight when she was only like 6 or 7 years old from the other students. And she had, when they finally found, she had bloody fingers and scrapes from trying to get out, and that really affected her mentally. She had stopped speaking for a while, but eventually, she started talking again, and her parents thought she was alright because she was like an old soul, as they say. She didn't do what the other children her age did. She always seemed older and a little bit more mature. She had a sister named Kiera, and Kiera was kind of, I guess, jealous of that because the parents praised Claire so much because she was just so responsible and so mature when Kiera was just a child, when she was just always in the mischief things, you know what I'm saying? So, and she realized she could get attention that way, so she always was doing things that was wrong just so she could get the attention. She even, right before Claire was supposed to get married, like they had little things going on, parties and dinner parties and things like that, and Kiera always had to ruin them to be the center of attention, but Claire wound up, like I said, went missing on the day of her wedding, and her mom was so upset because they still ain't found her. This was months later, so she was hoping that Nina could find her daughter. And Nina, on the low, was in love with Claire because she loved this book that Claire wrote. She just knew that she was this woman reincarnated from the people from the book and whatever. But she was a good investigator, and she did what she needed to do to try to find Claire. And she, spoke to Claire old classmates and found out that Claire actually had a crush on a guy named Leo. that was in her school, and they both was very smart. She was Claire graduated second of her class, and Leo graduated first. So they spent a lot of time together, and they had the same classes. And so she started doing an investigation about Leo and trying to find out who he was and where was he at now. And they come to find out he was living in California, in San Francisco. And that's actually the place where the people in her book ended up. The couple in her book ended up in one of them cities in California and wound up spending the rest of their lives together happy. So Nina was kind of smart. She said, maybe Claire book had something to do with her disappearance. So she started doving into the book, reading between the lines, and said, "Okay, you know what? I'm going to look up this guy, do a background check on this guy Leo, see where he lives, and I'm just going to go out there and I'm just going to watch him." You know what I'm saying? So she goes out there and she's watching them and whatever, and she's like, "I think this is Claire that he's with." This woman, like Claire, before she went ran away, she had pink hair, and she wasn't really a workout type person, but she was really thin. But this woman right here had long black hair and was looked like she worked out every day. So she was like, could this be Claire? But she said, I'm pretty sure of it just from the book and all the clues and the mystery. She knew it was Claire. So one day when Leo and this mystery woman went out to eat, Nina followed them. And as the woman was leaving, Nina was walking behind her, on her heels, and she ran up to her and she was like, "Excuse me, can I ask you something?" And when she turned around, she seen her face and she realized that it was Claire. Yes. So she like, "Do you remember me? I used to work in a coffee shop that used to come in all the time, and you let me read one of your manuscripts before, and I told you was a very talented writer, and I also read your bestseller. Aren't you Claire Ross? And you got the bestseller. It was called the Starlit Ballets." And she was just like, no, she ain't really want to, you know, reach that because she was hiding. She ran away from her home, from the man that she was going to marry named Roger, and so she didn't want anyone to know where she was. So she was just kind of shocked that this woman found her, and she was like, but she said, "Yes, it's you. I know it's you. Listen, I've been reading your book. I've been watching all your interviews. I think you're great, and this, and that." And she was like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "Is it any way me and you can maybe get together, maybe talk? I know you're missing, and I won't tell anyone where you are. I promise." And she was like, and Claire was like, "Okay, we can meet the next day and have dinner with each other." So the next day they having dinner, and Nina's just telling her, "Oh, I know you. I know everything about you. I love your book. I watched all your interviews. I read all about you, your past. I've been looking at it." And Claire's like, "Really? You do?" And it's kind of creepy because she come to find out Nina's in love with Claire. Yes, it's a good book. I mean, it was a really good book, and y'all should read this book. I mean, it was the ending had a whole twist to it because Nina was um so mesmerized by Claire. She just forced her way into her life, and Claire kind of accepted it. It was like, okay, well, who's this woman pushing herself into my world? But come to find out, she was like, she told Claire, she said, "Claire, I really like you." And she wanted to be with Claire, actually. She wanted to be the woman in the book to live out the rest of her life with Claire. But she didn't really know Claire. That was a book, and she drawn all these thoughts about Claire just from her book. But like I said, Claire was with the guy Leo, and Leo was treating her perfectly. Nina even broke into their house, set up cameras so she could watch them on the daily, watching them make love, watching their conversations, when they left, when they came. One day she even went in their house and fell asleep in their bed. Yes. So what happened was, now back home, Kiera, the sister, and the mother, Kiera's like, I don't like this girl Nina. I don't know what she's up to, and I don't know. It's just something about her. So Kiera started doing her own investigation about Nina, and come to find out, she finds out all these things about Nina, about how her parents were murdered, and when the police came there, the blood was all over her. So she's calling Nina like, "Who are you?" And then she actually contacted the woman that she worked for, that she found the Picasso for, and come to find out that she, because the woman had hired Nina for to find her a painting that was missing out her home, and Nina had found it, and that's how she was getting all her business. But come to find out, she didn't find the painting, and who gave the recommendation was actually the gardener of his home and whatever. And it was a lot coming out about how she was found blood all over her when the police came to her home and found her mother and father dead. And so Kiara drew her own conclusion, like, this woman is crazy. And come to find out, the woman who lost the Picasso, Nina was asking a whole bunch of questions about Claire. And the lady told Kiara, Claire's sister, that Nina rubbed her the wrong way because she was asking so many questions about Claire, and she wouldn't be surprised if Nina had something to do with her disappearance. Yes. So Kiera was just like, oh, I don't trust her. And she's calling Claire, like, what's going on? What are you doing? Where are you? What's going on? Did you find my sister? It's a lot of things I found out about you. And I'm just sorry. I don't trust you. And if you hurt my sister, so they just threatening her. So she just like hanging up on them. She done found Claire. That's her fantasy. That's who she want to be with. She ain't got nothing to say to Kiera, and she really don't have anything to say to Miranda. But she's talking to Miranda for the fact that Miranda is paying her to find her daughter. But come to find out, so she's talking to Claire, and she's like, I really admire you. I think you're wonderful, and it's this and that. And Claire like, oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, you do? Thanks. And it's this and that. So she was like, yeah. And I'm actually writing a new book. She said, oh, you are? She said, yeah. She said, but I'm having a hard time concentrating with all these birds because they in California and they got all these exotic birds and bird feeders where Leo live. Let me tell you, child, how Nina goes to the poison store, buy poison, mix it in with the bird feed, and put it in all the little bird feeders around around outside the home, and wind up killing all the birds, child. Every day that she shows up to see Claire, she finds the dead birds all up and down the street on lawns, and she's just collecting them and throwing them in the trash. Yes. She was obsessed about Claire. She really was. And then she just drawed up all these conclusions that Leo was mean to her and this, and that. This book had you going. You didn't know who, what, when. But come to find out, Claire was actually the bad guy. Let me tell you how it was all a setup. She made it seem like that because Leo did have a drinking problem a long time ago in his past, but he wasn't drinking. But she had made it seem like Leo was an alcoholic and was abusing her now. Yes, Leo was abusing Claire, and Nina was standing back watching it, and she couldn't do that. No, she couldn't sit back and watch this alcoholic, this ex drunk, destroy the woman she wants to be with. You know what I'm saying? So she just, she's going all out her way to try to make sure that, Claire is safe from this Leo. You know what I'm saying? So she's talking to Claire. So maybe you should leave. Your mother hired me to find you. And I'm thinking maybe you need to go back home and get away from him for he really hurts you and it's this and that. Because every day Nina goes to Claire's house, she see a bruise on her arm or fingerprints or something like that, and she's crying and she's like, "Is Leo treating you bad now? What's going on between you and Leo?" And she's just like, and she just, "No, I don't want to talk about it." Claire's like, "I don't want to talk about it. I just, So, but at the end of the day, she set Claire up. She set Nina up. Really, it was all a setup. It was perfect the way she did it, and I just said to myself, "Wow, should I give it away?" Because I want you to read it, but she come to find out Claire was actually the villain. She had said because one day Nina was there and she was roaming through there, searching through things and just being nosy, and she found the gun. And so she took the gun thinking that Leo may hurt Claire with it because by now she thinks Leo is abusing Claire. So she takes the gun out of the house's possession and keeps it on her and whatever. And so the day that they're about to leave, she convinced Claire, you need to leave Leo before he really hurts you. You know what I'm saying? So the day she goes over there to pick Claire up to take her back to her family, the house is ransacked. It's destroyed. You know what I'm saying? And Claire's laying in the bed with the covers over her. She walks up to the bed. She pulls the cover back, and Claire's laying there with a bloody lip, black eye. Her feet's bleeding, and the house is just ransacked. And she said, "What happened? What happened?" She said, "Me and Leo had a terrible fight. And you was right. I shouldn't have stayed here last night, 'cause she told her prior, you need to come on with me before he really hurts you." But she was like, "No, one more night won't hurt. I'm gonna finish packing, and I'm gonna tell Leo in the morning that I'm leaving." And she's like, "Okay." So the next day, fast forward, she comes in. She said, "Yeah, I told you not to stay here with him. Are you okay?" And so she go gets the first aid kit, and she just taking care of Claire, and Claire's just laying there all helpless, like, oh dear. So what happened was the door opened, and it's Leo coming back. He's like, "Yeah, Claire, did you see my earbuds? I left them by mistake." She's like, "Yeah, they up here." So Nina go hides in the closet when Leo comes up. He comes up and he gets his earbuds off the end table. He like, "Claire, what's wrong? Are you all right? What's going on?" She's like, "Nothing, nothing. I'm leaving. I'm going. I can't be here any longer." He was like, "Why not? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What you mean you leaving?" So Nina jumps out the closet with the gun, like, "Look, you stay still. Don't you hurt her no more." And he like, "What? Who are you? What are you doing in my closet? Hiding?" She was like, "I'm here to take her back to her family. You done hurting her. I won't allow it anymore." He like, "What are you talking about, Claire? What is she talking about?" So Leo goes to walk over to Claire while she's laying in the bed, and Nina thinks he's gonna go over there to hurt her again. So she shoots Leo. Yes, child. Leo falls back and whatever, and he's shot. You know what I'm saying? So she like, "Yeah." And so Claire like, "Oh, thank you for saving me. Thank you for saving me." And then she's like, "Yeah, yeah, come on, let's get on out of here. Let's get on out of here." So Leo gets back up like, "No, wait a minute, wait a minute. What is going on here? I don't believe, why did you shoot me?" And she was like, shoot him again, kill him, kill him." That's what Claire telling Nina, "Shoot him again, kill him, Nina, kill him before he hurts us both. Kill him." So Nina, and Nina don't know what to do. She's shaking. She got the gun in her hand. She like, and she don't know what to do. So he gets up and whatever, and he go walking over to Claire like, "What are you talking about, Claire? What are you talking about? Kill me." And so Nina shoots him again. And he falls back on the ground, and she's like, "Yeah." So Claire's smiling like, "Yeah." And so she's like, "Are you all right? Are you all right, Claire?" Nina asking, "You okay?" I got him. I got him." He's like, "Yeah, yes, you did." So Claire picks up the phone, calls 911, and say, "Yes, can you come? Can you come, please? Hurry, hurry! This woman broke into our home and just shot my boyfriend down." Yes, yes. And Nina like, What are you talking about?" She's like, "Yes, please hurry. I don't know. I think she's going to shoot me. Please hurry, hurry. She's crazy." And hangs up and whatever. And she's like, "What are you doing? What are you calling the cops talking about someone gonna shoot you? I wouldn't do that. I love you. I want us to be together, Claire." Claire started laughing. So I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I don't care nothing about you. I don't care nothing about him." And whatever. And Claire breaks it down how basically she's been using Leo and using his home and just to come up with new ideas of another great novel. And basically, you was perfect when you showed up, saying that my mom hired you as a private investigator because I wrote you into the story, and as a deranged person who's crazy about this author of this book, and how you really believe that you based everything from her novel onto her, and how you're out of your damn mind. You're crazy. And she's like, "And then you know what? And you're going to jail." Yes. Look, Claire is I think what happened was when Claire was locked in that in that wooden box back in school when she was like 6 or 7, she lost her mind in that box, and she created a totally new character, and she's been living inside her mind the entire time. So she's just been really living out the novels that every novel that she wrote is something that she lived out or created in reality. Yes, yes, yes. She was crazy. Yeah, she was ready. She was ready for Nina to get locked up, go to jail. She thinking Leo dead on the floor, and the cops is coming in the house. Yes, and Nina's just standing there like, "I don't believe the woman that I want to love, I want to be with. I've been looking for you. I've been searching for you. I found you, and I've been, she really been worshiping Claire. She knew her book by every line, every chapter. She knew everything that she liked, all her dislikes. She watched her on all her interviews. Nina was obsessed with Claire because of this book. She really thought Claire was this woman from this book. She said a woman who write this book can't be evil, can't be mean, can't be, doing harm to people. But come to find out, Claire was a sociopath. Claire was not what she thought. But come to find out, Claire broke it all down to her and how she was going to, how she set her up, how she came up with everything, and how she did it. Leo was never beating on her. Claire was beating herself up, made all them bruises herself, just to form them ideas into Nina's head. To get her, she said, she said, I knew you was capable of murder when you did what you did with them birds. Yes, yes. I was like, she was like, yeah. She said, you got it. She said, I knew you was capable of it. She said, I seen you go out there and put that stuff in them bird feeds, and then all the birds started dying. I said, oh yeah, I got that all in my book. And come to find out, what happened was when the cops showed up and they was about to take Nina away. Guess what? Guess what happened? Leo woke up, stood up, and said, no, wait a minute, I'm not dead. She missed. And she broke everything down. He broke everything down to the cops and everything that Nina was trying to say. And lo and behold, they let Nina go. And they told her, you free to go, Nina. But we're going to take you, Claire. You going to the psychiatric ward, baby. You're crazy. Yes, child. Look, it was a good movie. Well, I'm talking about movie. It was a good book, and I'm pretty sure I seen a movie not similar to this book, but similar to the story that she wrote. As far as like these people meeting in different times, but as different people and always constantly falling in love because they like soulmates or something. Yeah, I think I seen a movie like that before. But yeah, this is it, guys. My favorite terrible thing, and Nina, Carol was her favorite terrible thing. She just loved Carol. You should read this book and just see how much she adored Carol, how much she wanted to be with her. She was planning their future together. Yes, and come to find out, Carol was just setting her up, child. Yes, yes, setting her up for her downfall. She wanted her to go to jail, child, for killing Leo. But yeah, it was a good book though. But I'm glad at the end it all turned out good because Nina wound up becoming this famous private investigator because she solved Claire Ross case, and she got a lot of business. And yeah, so everything worked out. And the mom found out that yeah, Claire, that she did find Claire, and Claire is actually crazy, and she's gonna be in the nut house for a while. So yeah, but it was a pretty good book, so I do recommend it. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me again on one of my great book reviews. Yeah, had me up all night. Peace.